Them something I'm not like, you know. Look at this now. How comes this now? Give me the option. Really? This mash up my whole thing now. I'm not telling no lie. This mash up the whole. Now go up on camera today at all. Not today, Sonny. Hold on there. Let me put this thing onto my computer. Best thing that. Yeah, let me do that. Turn the camera to the computer. Ah, see it there? But me now go up on camera today. Not today, not today. No say when I go do that, you know. Turn on the camera for me. After me never have my camera turn on. Alright. We see what I go now. Okay, me refresh it. Mic check, mic check. Okay, me refresh it. Alright. There we go. Something did wrong a while ago for real, man. Something did wrong a while ago. You need a play. Let's go back to this one I am now.
Administration that these arrangements are true, and this was done in the style of a journalist, because you talk to sources who give you the documents, who want to remain anonymous, and you connect the dots from there. And there are people who've testified in this document that we have in our hand and shown the paperwork to say these are the arrangements that we were bound by where the Cuban government is concerned, and the Jamaican.
Wanna hear how him frame that? These are the arrangements we were bound by. Them know the arrangement them. What do you mean them bound by it? You go and access money they tied on the Jamaican government. I like say them never know the terms of the arrangement. All of them know. None of them can talk about so them never know. Big up yourself, Nix. Nix say I watch your life for 400 minutes. Whoa. Big up Nix in a place no man. That's love right there. Zine. All of them Jamaica know the terms and agreement of the Cuban. None of them can come tell me say, oh, you know, I wasn't aware. Bullish. Boy, you hear him frame that a while ago?
Was complicit. It did not say which administration. It says since 76 coming forward, Jamaican governments have.
You notice how him want to talk about administration? Because in politics alone, him a play right, so you know. All him, this is what you call clean up work. That's how we call them the JLP-FM. Them is not a non-partisan radio station. Just put JLP-FM, brother. Pound, change your name. Change your name. Change your name. Because there's no way Tufton, Andrew, and all of them don't know the terms and agreement surrounding the Cuban doctors them coming here. There's no way. No way, shape, or form. I'm here to tell you say one tweet. That's why I make sure I play this first now. Because later it's all about what's she name? Favor Williams. 2 p.m. I go live. I already set up the live for 2 p.m. Zine. Where I show no see it. See it? 2 p.m. budget debate. Get to the popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. Get to the popcorn. Make sure so go over to the platform who wants them on TikTok and come over. You see what I say? See it there? Platform who wants them on TikTok. Yeah, man. Come over. What is this? I'm gonna need to see this. Watch later. But yeah. Subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe. Zane. Yeah, man, real thing. Subscribe to the platform and make sure someone check in on the live them and check in on the video them. See me? Yeah. We want to get to 50,000 subs. That are the aim between now and
in work collecting the money? When did
No man, the man name BA. The man ain't not like this alive. Yeah, somebody a try send report and a go on with themselves. Eh? Somebody vex about the life, yeah, from the life start the life on that. Me nah stop beat it till I'm a bed. People wanna share up the life. As a matter of fact, make me share you. The man ain't suppress the life till the week to blows and skirt. Them hours a day. Yeah. And me go live and you tell me say me can't get my people them over here, so. No man. Me do this. And me purposefully look up yourself, Nicks. Me purposefully no say no broadcast about it, you know. For my WhatsApp, you know. Every minute them a kick off the people them off our life. People wanna drop some comments there and donate to the platform. Send some super chats. You understand? And tell them to go away. Tell them to go away. This is interesting. All of them people. Me just get so want me Lorna.
Jamaica, I cannot not speak about what's going on right now.
Alright. So me get one look thing, Jamaica. Hold on there. Get one look thing on WhatsApp or so. Zine. Me could hear from the arse's mouth about this thing here. Cause some little guy London said she want to speak to me, Jamaica. Nicks, thank you, darling. Thank you, baby. How you are the people, you know? Me not see London. If you add her. You need my phone number. My number is 876-451. Get your pen and paper. Thank you, Nicks. Oh, mwah, mwah, mwah. Big up yourself, Nicks in the building, man. Always supporting the platform. I've never seen my phone behave like this. Every single minute, some people come on the live, then kick them off. Somebody don't want that live have to take place. Wow. And that's why I'm going to do it. Me nah stop. Somebody don't want this live to take place, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody does not want this live to take place. Yeah, I'm not stopping. So you guys share up this, all of the warrior them, want to share up the live here. I'm sick and tired of suppression on these apps when the truth is to be spoken. We have to speak the truth with number again. Jordan, the number is 876-451-6535. That's 876-451-6535. Yeah, man, I'm sick and tired of this now, man. I am sick and tired of this now. Alright? It has to stop, Jamaica. Has to stop. They have been attacking my channel for quite some time now, you know. For quite some time now, they've been attacking my channel, you know. Yes. I'm just they are easy. Them attack me TikTok all the time. They restrict me videos them all the time. Right? Them been attacking me stuff. And if I wasn't saying something that was hitting home, right? Them wouldn't be attacking me like this. It is because I am speaking the truth. Right? They wouldn't care if I was a Andrew Honest Jack. We just come on here and make excuses to the government. Right? They wouldn't be attacking me like this now. But may I tell you, say, one thing I'm sure about before me play this. So Jordan, did you get the number? Nicks, could you write the number in the chat for me? 876 451-6535. Type it in the comment section. I don't know if Jordan get it. I don't know. Here we go again. That. So I'm gonna face the consequences. Simple as that. Listen to this.
I am not here to judge. I am not here to judge the Jamaican government. I am not here to judge the Cuban government. I just want to share my thoughts as a Cuban, and I just feel it for the people so much. I feel it for the doctors, the people. Just imagine that you are in a country where being a doctor doesn't really make a difference. Your government come to you and say, you have been chosen to go to Jamaica. You're going on a mission to Jamaica to offer our health. You're going on a mission to Jamaica to offer our health.
Hey, Matthew, you say, can you call? Okay. Matthew saying you want to call. Me just see the messenger. So yeah, TikTok, I am back. Lord God. Matthew, if you're still there, let me know. Zane, if you are still here, please let me know. So, on hear what you say. In Cuba, being a doctor, you don't really get a lot of money because all the people in Cuba are doctor. So, what the government do? What the government do? The government say, ah, here we are going now. We are going to opportunity. See that them flag me live already in a Nix. Nix. Not even 1 minute in the live, they flag me live. Then just flag it a while ago, you know. What them flag it for? What me say a while ago? Me say this, I am being targeted. I am being targeted by the agents of this government in high places. Me say I am being targeted by agents of the Jamaica Labour Party government in high places. And me I say it loud and blurt not proud. There is no way me just start my live a while ago pan. Me start over my live on TikTok. And the man, watch out, appeal not approve. Them don't want the people to learn the truth. People, I am going to have and this is where people have to go put their money where their mouth is, you know. You see, if we want to have them serious London to London come back, the London, Nix, put the number in the chat for London. We're going to have a serious conversation, ladies and gentlemen, about what is happening. And we can't have it on YouTube and these platforms anymore. You got it? Okay. We can't have it on YouTube and these platforms anymore. It is quite clear to me that we can't. Because I really don't see nothing that I have said to warrant my live being flagged. All I did was come and start this.
I am so scared to do this. But as a Cuban living in Jamaica, I cannot not speak about what's going on right now. As all of you know, the Jamaican government has decided to not renew contracts to Cuban doctors and nurses working in Jamaica. This relationship has been going on for 50 years, and the Cuban doctors have assisted millions of Jamaicans to meet someone who has been in a Jamaican hospital. I share the fact that I'm Cuban. They always follow up with, I was at the hospital and the nurse was Cuban and she was so nice. I was at the doctor who assisted me is Cuban and he was so nice. I am not here to judge. I am not here to judge the Jamaican government. I am not here to judge the Cuban government. I just my thoughts as a Cuban, and I just feel it for the people so much. I feel it for the doctors and the Cuban nurses so much. I'm not criticizing the government's decision, have to do what they have to do. The same thing for the Cuban government. I am here to give you a perspective from the people. Just imagine that you are in a country where being a doctor doesn't really make a difference. Your government come to you and say, you have been chosen to go to Jamaica. You're going on a mission to Jamaica to offer our health services. Like when I was in Cuba, when you go to another country to serve in a mission, you still get your Cuban salary. It's not a lot of money, but it's money that your family could have access to, or you would have access to all that money when you return from the mission.
So Jamaica, there's an agreement with the Cuban doctors and the Cuban government. How do they call this slavery? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Don't you get free education in Cuba? That's what I want. That's what I want to know. But let's continue.
Usually missions are sometimes up to 5 years. Doctors and nurses would get to go home once a year for a month, thereabout. When you travel to Jamaica, you're going to receive a salary in Jamaica. And you're able to do with that money what you want. Usually they save a lot of money and they accumulate a lot of items depending on what their goal is. A lot of people want to furnish their home, people want to do businesses, and they're allowed even to carry a whole container full of things to Cuba. But these doctors and nurses working in Jamaica, although the conditions are not ideal, and don't get me wrong, the conditions for Jamaican doctors are not ideal either. It is.
Thank you very much, miss. The Jamaican doctor, them not even working in a proper condition them. So everybody has suffer. I wonder if the United States are gonna check the Jamaican government about these conditions and the amount of money where the Jamaican doctors them and nurses them and get paid versus the government. And no wonder they don't want me to have that conversation because that one is serious enough. The Cuban doctors had no problem with the program. All lies. Well, I'm not going to say that to them because you what me know. You see in everything, you have opposition, you know. My thing is this. Is the slavery part and not me. You understand? Are the slavery part and not me, you know. That are the party and not me. You always have opposition. But for the Jamaican government, any one of them to come and tell me that they did not know the terms and conditions of this, them is a damn liar. We can tell you that straight up. Them is a damn liar. Them will stop it. Them will stop it, Jamaica, not you? Let's continue.
Still a great opportunity for them. They get to leave Cuba, get to learn another language, make extra money, they get access to material things, they get to help people, they get to leave that mark in Jamaicans' hearts. You always hear the tenderness, the patience, the love, and the care. And I am not saying that the Jamaican doctors and nurses are not the same.
Miss, a 1 and 2 Jamaican nurses and doctors have compassion and care like a Cuban them. 1 and 2. We are going to miss you. Bad. Enough for the nurse them have attitude problem. Worse than them come from a certain place. Them only there in the job because they need one job. Not because they have a passion for the job. Them not have the right emotional intelligence to be a nurse. A lot of them. And it's just the truth. It's just the truth. Them treat the patient them like crap. You heard what I said? But I have never heard a bad report about the Cuban doctors. Never. You want to see how people of the Cuban doctor them, you go see more video of people that come out and attack. You think it done? The government not gonna live through this. This government can not live through letting go of the Cuban doctors. My word. Them not live through it, Jamaica. Them not live through it. Live through what? What's the matter?
But you don't hear, oh my God, Lord Almighty, them Cuban people, them roughy, them rude, I don't know why the government bring them Cuban people, them come here, so.
Ma'am, are you married? Let me just throw that out there. Are you married, ma'am? What's going on with your ring? Like, let me see your fingers.
You don't hear the contraries. It is hurtful to see that that will be no more. Now, there is another side to that coin. There are repercussions and sanctions for any nurse or doctor who decides to not return to Cuba. And also, there are restrictions from the Jamaican government for those nurses and doctors. They are welcome to work here once they are working in that contract. But if they are outside of the contract, it is a very different picture. A lot of
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there, sir, is key. You hear that? The agreement between, where she live in Portland? The agreement between the government of Jamaica and the government of Cuba is mutual agreement. So the Cuban, them have restrictions in Jamaica by the government of Jamaica and Cuba. I want to play that again, fool, you know. Don't make this a part, don't make this part slip on, you know. No, I don't see any rings on her finger in a Japanese. Right? Listen to this part.
Any nurse or doctor who decides to not return to Cuba. And also, there are restrictions from the Jamaican government for those nurses and doctors. They are welcome to work here once they are working in that contract. But if they are outside of the contract, it is a very different picture. A lot of
bingo. And this confirms what I have been thinking. Common sense. There's no way in one contract with Cuba and you don't know the terms of the contract as the Jamaican government. What this lady is confirming is that the Jamaican government was upholding the contract from Cuba. So if you have to sanction Cuba, you have to sanction Jamaica too. And you have to lock up the people living in Jamaica too. They are complicit in anything that is considered a crime against the Cuban people. Point blank, period. So talk to me nice. How it go now? Ocean wide. How it go? Huh? How it go? Let me show you something, Jamaica. Let me show you something. You want to see how easy it is? Coming from the horse's mouth, you know. Look at this. What that Virginia say? The man tag George Davis and Cliff Hughes. Steve Blue Blood. Let me go for the original tweet. Let me go for the original tweet, Jamaica. Mighty God. Let me go for the original tweet. Twitter. Where name? Where name again? Where you go? Where there? Picture? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my bad. I messed up. I don't know what I'm doing. Where name? Steve Blue Blood? Alright, cool. Steve Blue Blood. Which video this?
In Jamaica.
Joining the people of Cuba in celebrating the life work of a great leader. Jamaica and Cuba share a very strong fraternal relationship. The people of Cuba, the government of Cuba, for the support and exchange in health, education, and in other areas.
Holness explained that Fidel's impact was far-reaching and has left an indelible mark on many Jamaicans, especially when it concerns helping the oppressed.
People of Jamaica view Fidel Castro with a sense of love, a sense of brotherhood, and his contribution to building Cuba and in liberating the minds of people oppressed around the world is indelibly etched in history.
The Jamaican leader, with members of his political team, expressed solidarity with the Cubans as they mourn the passing of the 90-year-old legend.
Again, the people of Jamaica are tremendously saddened by the passing of former President and we join with the
Hey,
American Prime Minister
Andrew, you will have no peace. Yo, we can't be somebody find that clip here. Me, I make sure somebody take it down. Anyway, me not have much time before favors that is so. People, me say them a knock me with strike left, right, and center. And before me even send the appeal and approve it. Mighty God. My name Steve Blueblood. I'm looking Steve Blueblood there. Hold on there. Steve Blueblood on Twitter. Steve Blueblood. Blueblood. See me can find him here. See me? Alright. So this is a official. This is a official see the man here? My backside see Jamaica, see the original tweet here. I find it. So this is real. Right? The payment to the Cuban government. Jamaica had a contract with the Cuban government. We pay the government of Cuba who pay the doctors. This is the same arrangement that we have with the people building Cornwall Regional Hospital. Mighty God. Hold on there. Jamaica. Look how the man destroy ocean wide with one tweet of common sense and sensibility. Listen to this. The payment to the Cuban government. Jamaica had a contract with the government of Cuba. So we pay the government of Cuba who pay the Cuban doctors. This is the same arrangement that we have with people building Cornwall Regional Hospital on our roads. The hypocrisy. Jamaica, the hypocrisy. Me say one tweet destroy Dras Davis and Big Mama and show the hypocrisy of these people. One tweet do that. Now the same thing they do with China. Who pay Chinese worker them? It is called a contract. So how come slavery coming out Jamaica? How come slavery coming out? Dras Davis, Big Mama, only so compromised to the government. How slavery come in at it? Simple logics. And the same thing they do with the Chinese worker them. You pay an entity under contract and they provide them workers. You pay them and then pay the worker them. Talk to me in Jamaica. No wonder they never want me to do this. Because they know I'm a TikTok still a flag me. When you look on the screen and make it so keen. On the screenshot that is the original tweet. Steve Blueblood. And him look like him a doctor too. You understand? I have got to go to this now because then soon start the live. You understand? Yeah, I have go to this. Wait, at 3 p.m. me start? Okay, me have time. Awesome. Me have time, Jamaica. Me have time. Me think at 2 p.m. this start now. Me have time. Zine. So look at this. I'm going to play back what Dras Davis say now. And this man, the hypocrite them now. Listen to them.
In Jamaica was restricted. Their passports were being held on to. Yeah, they could not form certain social relationships here in Jamaica. They were, and I think the word used by George this morning was most appropriate, they were in servitude. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. And there are now many questions for the Jamaican government to answer. When did we know that this was the arrangement that the Cuban doctors and nurses and personnel were being subjected to? When did we know that? And what did we do? According...
Me answer him with the words from the Cuban doctor. Listen to this. Me answer you, Big Mama. Me answer you.
People get to learn another language, make extra money, they get access to material things, they get to help people, they get to leave that mark in Jamaicans' hearts. You always hear the tenderness, the patience, the love, and the care. And I am not saying that the Jamaican doctors and nurses are not the same, but you don't hear, oh my God, Lord Almighty, them Cuban people, them roughy, them rude, we don't know why the government bring them Cuban people, them come here. So you don't hear the contraries. It is hurtful to see that that would be no more. Now there is another side to that coin. There are repercussions and sanctions for any nurse or doctor who decides to not return to Cuba. And also there are restrictions from the Jamaican government for those nurses and doctors return to Cuba. And also there are restrictions from the Jamaican government for those nurses and doctors.
Cliffios, Big Mama, how Jamaica go put restrictions on the Cuban doctor them if them not understand the contract between Cuba and Jamaica? Talk to me now. Talk to me, Big Mama. Make a reason. Make a reason. Jamaica make a reason, man. Talk to me now, man. How it go? How it really go? Listen to this, man.
To answer, when did we know that this was the arrangement that the Cuban doctors and nurses and personnel were being subjected to?
Them know a long time. Them know long time. Them know. Stop going like say, you don't want to come spin the narrative. Not going to work around here. Them know a long time Jamaica. You hear me say? Straight from the arse's mouth. How comes America now challenge Jamaica about the contract them what they have with China? For Chinese then come here and work. And indentured servitude after Jamaica now pay the Chinese. Them pay the Chinese contractor. The government of Cuba is acting as a contractor for these nurses. Through humanitarian aid, there's an agreement between the Cuba and them as far as me get to understand. In Cuba, and the girls said, the Cuba approached them, the government approached them. Them have to sign one contract. So I am saying, if Cuba is guilty of something, Jamaica is guilty of something. The entire government for the last 50 years is guilty of something. So when you talk to me nice, escape this. For make it, for push it on the Cuban them alone. Jamaica has benefited significantly. Janet Allen, big up. Jamaica has benefited significantly. Lives have been saved because of the presence of the Cuban doctors. So when you talk to me, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So where is the sanctions for Jamaica from America? Jamaica cannot play innocent in this. There is no way Jamaica can play innocent in this. No way. No Sankey can sing so. So when you talk up to me, me there a phone today, no man. Matthew where there? You say the one call him. Where Matthew there? Where's Matthew? Matthew, talk to me. You didn't want to tell me something about your situation with the doctor and your hand and thing. Come talk to me, Matthew, if you're still there. Mighty God. Listen to this man.
According to the Jamaican Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Jamaican government only became aware of this recently.
And she said that, a lie she tell. And a lie the government tell. Tell him say me said that. Antonio, big up yourself. Anyhow, them come say. Them just a know about this. Tell them say, miss say, I lie them a tell. Them too wicked. Them will stop it. Them will stop it, Jamaica. Them is too wicked and lie. You can't have a contract with a country to the point where the country have sanctions for the people them if they should move outside of the contract. And you uphold the sanction through the agreement according to the lady that is a Cuban. See it here, listen again.
Is working in Jamaica, although the conditions are not ideal, and don't get me wrong, the conditions for Jamaican doctors are not ideal either. It is still a great opportunity for them. They get to leave Cuba, get to learn another language, make extra money, they get access to material things, they get to help people, they get to leave that mark in Jamaicans' hearts. You always hear the tenderness, the patience, the love, and the care. And I am not saying that the Jamaican doctors and nurses are not the same, but you don't hear, oh my God, Lord Almighty, them Cuban people, them rough feed, them rude, we don't know why the government bring them Cuban people, them come here. So you don't hear the contraries. It is hurtful to see that that will be no more. No, there is another side to that coin. There are repercussions and sanctions for any nurse or doctor who decides to not return to Cuba. And also there are restrictions from the Jamaican government for those nurses and doctors. They are welcome to work here once they are working in that contract. But if they are outside of the contract, it is a very different picture. A lot of in that contract, but if they are those nurses and doctors, they are welcome to work here once they are working in that contract. But if they are outside of the contract, it is a very different picture. A lot of talks is going on, and a lot of.
So in a year, as CP3 what's up, my brother, salute to you, man. Big salute to you, CP3. So here, ladies and gentlemen, the Cuban doctors. This is a Cuban lady here that work here in Jamaica. Been here for some time, it appears. Right? So she's saying, she's telling you from the horse's mouth their experience. The contract between the Cuban doctors and Cuba. There is a contract, there's an actual contract. So if Trump is gonna take this to court, you know, it's gonna be interesting. That's all I will say. I think they're going to be hard pressed to prove that Cuba is what, human trafficking and slavery. I'm talking about just in the court, the argument itself is going to be interesting, and here's why. Look at this. Look at this one tweet. The payment to the Cuban government. Jamaica had a contract with the government of Cuba. So we pay the government of Cuba, who pays the Cuban doctors. This is the same arrangement that we have with the people building Cornwall Regional Hospital. Where is the lie? And our roads, where is the lie, Jamaica? Just the other day, we had a similar situation. JPS got some money from our government, 150 million US. Right? JPS got linemen from overseas. Jamaica government did not pay the linemen. JPS paid them. So are those linemen that came from overseas, from JPS, are they in slavery? Are they in indentured servitude? Come on, man, stop it. Let's stop it. Let common sense prevail. And if anybody wants to make the argument, right? Guys, remember the super chat is open. All right? Can you help me with the live goals? I would appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Gifts are available. We have the Cash App is available. The PayPal is available. The Zelle is available. All of the above. Yes? Right? Let common sense prevail. And like I'm saying, if we are going to come to conclude that the Cuban government is indeed human trafficking people and it's indentured servitude, well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, let me tell you something. The Jamaican government in a hot water. Couldn't be Cuba alone. And then you have to ask yourself, which other countries have this arrangement with Cuba? Hello, somebody? I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Nobody is. Me not want to just listen to me. Come on, don't spice up the comment section. Talk to me, man. Bolo make sense or am I talk foolishness? In Jamaica? Am I making sense or am I speaking foolishness? You are more than welcome to tell me in the comment section if I'm making sense or am I talk foolishness. So every single country that has this arrangement with Cuba should be sanctioned. Do you guys believe that Jamaica is the only country that has this arrangement with Cuba? So is America going to take all of them to court? I'm asking. How is that going to pan out? Do you think that they would win in the argument? Because Cuba is not hiding, you know. You notice the Cuba, if it was a thing where the Cubans were hiding, you think that this lady could come out and say what she's saying? Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 50 years. It has been 50 years since Jamaica has benefited from this. So how then can you come and tell us that this situation is just so untenable? So you're telling me the United States was watching this for 50 years and they did not recognize that there was something awry here? It's just the other day. This is what I call convenient outrage. That's exactly what I call this. Because there's a lot of people that would be complicit in this. Yes, a lot of people would be complicit in this. Arlene, big up yourself. One tweet exposed the entire ocean wide. Every single one of them get exposed, ladies and gentlemen. See it there? One tweet, common sense. The Cuban government is the entity that is acting as the contractor of their nurses. If I'm not mistaken, free schooling and those things are a thing in Cuba. Yeah. No, so you get free schooling. February 1. Zine. So let's listen to the hypocrisy of Charles Davis. Listen to this.
Been pressing their own people into a process and system of servitude where they have them working here, taking the bulk of their pay, taking any extra, taking a half of. You have to ask questions. You can't draw and jump to conclusions. Have we benefited? And we certainly have benefited. Many of us have benefited from the service of a Cuban nurse or a Cuban doctor or a Cuban health professional. And Jamaica is better for the Cubans having been here. There's no question about that. And we don't regret the service that the Cubans have given. But under what conditions and at what cost?
Charles Davis, you sound like a buffoon, a baboon. What you mean you don't regret it? If you are standing on the position of that this is human trafficking and the doctors were dealt with and they were abused, how can you say you don't regret it? If the doctor them they here so and come here so and them being abused to help us, I regret it. Jamaica, how me sound, you can't have a cake and eat it too. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side, you know. I thank you very much, Febby. The doctors agree there is a contract. So if Jamaica is taking the position now these media outlets along with well, this is the JLP FM. So them are the JLP spokesperson, you know. Thank you very much, Jai Evans, because sometimes when me talk, you know, I wonder if something wrong with me, you know. Sometimes when me talk I'm a reason, I wonder if there's something wrong with me. I mean, that makes sense. If indeed the Cuban doctors were abused Jamaica, how did they come here and act so nice and was so cordial more than the Jamaican doctors and nurses at times? Some of the Jamaican doctors and nurses. Oh, again. Somebody wanna call me. Can't take a call right now. This is a phone I may use. This is a phone I may use. Can't take a call right now. See if we can get him. You hear him now?
Has the Cuban government over time, according to this document and according to the US officials, been pressing their own people into a process and system of servitude where they have them working here, taking the bulk of their pay, taking a half of anything extra that they do, and then bringing them back to Cuba after 2 or 3 years and repeating it with a new batch? Is that what has happened over 50 years? And is that why this medical mission is no more? Because the US has told its partners, including Jamaica, that that practice can work no more. Just questions this morning based on what we've read over the weekend.
Hear this I want him now. Me say, if indeed Jamaica did that for how much years, it means that Jamaica have to get sanctioned as well. Yes, them have to get sanctioned. Oh, my son.
We're now learning
Oh, my son.
that their movement in Jamaica was restricted. Their passports were being held on to. Yeah, they could not form certain social relationships here in Jamaica. They were, and I think the word used by George this morning was most appropriate, they were in servitude. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. And there are now many questions for the Jamaican government to answer.
When did we know?
That this was the arrangement that the Cuban doctors and nurses and personnel were being subjected to. When did we know that? And what did we do? According to the Jamaican Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Jamaican government only became aware of this recently. And that became a sticking point, which ultimately led to the Cuban government refusing
so
to alter the payment arrangements, which led to the termination of the program. Is that so? Well, I've been trying to get the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and you know, I hope to be able to have a word with her.
No, sir.
But when did we find this out? When did we find out that when we paid the Cubans, the money go to the Cuban government, the Cuban government take what they want and give them according to this report coming from this human rights organization, Cuba Archive. And let me tell you, I read that report and I was very wary while I was reading it, because we know a lot of politics is mixed up in this.
So, only hear Cliff Hughes and Josh Davis, Big Mama. Listen to the Cuban doctor again. Listen to that lady.
So scared to do this. But as a Cuban living in Jamaica, I cannot not speak about what's going on right now. As all of you know, the Jamaican government has decided to not renew contracts to Cuban doctors and nurses working in Jamaica. This relationship has been going on for 50 years, and the Cuban doctors have assisted millions of Jamaicans to meet someone who has been in a Jamaican hospital. I share the fact that I'm Cuban. They always follow up with, I was at the hospital and the nurse was Cuban and she was so nice. I was at the hospital and the doctor who assisted me is Cuban and he was so nice. I am not here to judge. I am not here to judge.
People want to see how emotional the lady is. Cuban, they love Jamaica, you know? And they love work here. If they were going through it like what them people here say Jamaica, like how them say, you think say the people them who want left Jamaica, you just using the reasoning, no man. Using the reasoning. Using the brain, Jamaica. If the Cubans were out here being enslaved by the Cuban government, do you think that this lady would be this emotional? She said she feel, listen to what she said. She feel it for the Cuban because the Cuban them want to stay. So she not attack Andrew, you know. But she just tell the truth. And she not attack the Cuban government neither. This is the best perspective me can get. To understand the dichotomy of the situation. The intricacies. The details of the situation, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Listen to what she said.
The Jamaican government, I am not here to judge the Cuban government. I just want to share my thoughts as a Cuban, and I just feel it for the people so much. I feel it for the doctors and the Cuban nurses so much. I'm not criticizing the government's decision, have to do what they have to do. The same thing for the Cuban government.
Lady, you not have to criticize them. Me, I will criticize them. We, I will criticize them. You not have to worry about that. We got you. We just want to know the truth. And that's all we want to hear from you. And clearly, you are so emotional right now that I believe every single word you're saying. Let's continue.
I am here to give you a perspective from the people. Just imagine that you are in a country where being a doctor doesn't really make a difference. Your government come to you and say, you have been chosen to go to Jamaica. You're going on a mission to Jamaica to offer our health services.
People hear that? There's dialogue with the doctors and the nurses. They are approached by the Cuban government through the brigade, right? That you are going to do a mission. I want to know where slavery them. I still trying to figure it out. I want to know. Them understand so them get the same pay where them get. Them agree to it and then come to Jamaica. Delroy, how you doing? Delroy, consider becoming a member of the platform, my brother. Alright? Remember the super chat is open. PayPal, Cash App, all that good stuff. Right? There should be a join button. You can see the join button. Press the join button. Alright? God is good. So they are approached by the Cuban government. Why are they so happy to be here? You're telling me that the Cuban doctors and nurses are so oppressed that they are so happy while being here and working here, understanding full well the details of their contract with the Cuban government and Jamaica, because Jamaica, according to her, uphold the contract, listening.
When I was in Cuba, when you go to another country to serve in a mission, you still get your Cuban salary. It's not a lot of money, but it's money that your family could have access to, or you will have access to all that money when you return from the mission.
So you hear that? When they return from the mission, all of the money they have access to. Listen to your studies now.
Usually missions are sometimes up to 5 years. The doctors and nurses will get to go home once a year for a month, thereabout. When you travel to Jamaica, you're going to receive a salary in Jamaica.
Ding, 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 ding. When you travel to Jamaica, you're going to receive a salary in Jamaica. Mighty God. So you're telling me that you have money waiting on you in Cuba, and you get a salary in Jamaica too? That's what I am understanding. Let me play it again. Maybe something wrong with me.
Times up to 5 years. The doctors and nurses will get to go home once a year for a month, thereabout. When you travel to Jamaica, you're going to receive a salary in Jamaica. And you're able to do with that money what you want.
So there's a distinction. Razzie, how you doing? So there's a distinction. Where is the slavery, Jamaica? Where is slavery there? We still a try to figure it out. Where is the slavery of the Cubans? So you're telling me that you guys get paid in Cuba, the money put on till you come back to Cuba, and when you come to Jamaica, you get paid different? Where is the slavery? Where there? If what this lady is saying is true in Antonio, how is this? How is this slavery? How is this indentured servitude? She said, remember, you know, she said, the money where them work at Cuba. Cuba have the money they put on for them, you know, till them come back, you know. It's not a lot of money. But when they come to Jamaica, you get paid a salary in Jamaica. And you get to do with that money what you want. So there is a distinction between the money where Cuba pay them in Jamaica, where Cuba pay them in a Cuba, through the mission, and what Jamaica is paying them. Alright? So, when talk to me now, this only make matters worse, you know, for this government, you know. This only make matters worse. So, what it is that Jamaica wanted to do was to cut off the contract with the Cuban them and pay the Cuban them directly. And who want enslave who? Jamaica. If I am getting a salary in Jamaica and do whatever I want with it, plus the Cuban government is putting down money for me every month, where me not gonna touch till me go home. Talk to me no man. Talk to me no man. Talk to me Jamaica. How you go? How that sound? Come to Jamaica, work a nurse salary. Our nurse them done a ball already. So the money not enough. The conditions them no good. Even admitted by this lady right here. Even admitted by her that the conditions are not good. Neither for Cubans nor Jamaicans. Our doctors are migrating. Wagwan Paul. Our doctors are migrating overseas, leaving the country because of said conditions. I really don't see how them can really I really don't see how them can sell this. Would I love to see this air out in a court? I would love to see this air out in court. May I tell you? I'm telling you. Because I think there's a strong argument for the Cuban them. This don't sound like slavery to me. This don't sound like slavery to me, Jamaica. It don't sound like slavery to me. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing it. And again, I say, if indeed I am wrong, and this is slavery, the Jamaican government would be complicit. They would be complicit, and you're going to hear why. Like and share the video, guys. Thank you.
Usually, they save a lot of money and they accumulate a lot of items, depending on what their goal is. A lot of people want to furnish their home, people want to do businesses, and they're allowed even to carry a whole container full of things to Cuba. But these doctors and nurses working in Jamaica, although the conditions are not ideal, and don't get me wrong, the conditions for Jamaican doctors are not ideal either, it is still a great opportunity for them. They get...
Wait a minute. Where you say a while ago, it is a great opportunity for them? Or is this slavery? Jamaica, how is this slavery? How is this slavery? You know much people go on farm work program in Jamaica, from Jamaica to overseas, America and other places. And trust me, there are horror stories, ladies and gentlemen. Can I tell you? There are horror stories. Do we blame that on those countries? Do we call it slavery? Or indentured servitude? Talk to me. Let's really talk about it. Let's really talk about it, Jamaica. So, say that again for me, Mama. Say that again for me. Say that again for me.
The conditions are not ideal, and don't get me wrong, the conditions for Jamaican doctors are not ideal either. It is still a great opportunity for them. They get to leave Cuba, get to learn another language, make extra money, they get access to material things, they get to help people. They get.
You hear how the lady outlined all of the wonderful opportunities there is. They get to make extra money. Mighty God. Ruth, how you doing? Bless up yourself. Coming from the horse's mouth, you know, this is a Cuban. Not my word. Not my word, Jamaica. Not my word. Wow. Wow.
Get to leave that mark in Jamaicans' hearts. You always hear the tenderness, the patience, the love, and the care. And I am not saying that the Jamaican doctors and nurses are not the same, but you don't hear, oh my God, Lord Almighty, them Cuban people, them rough feet, them rude, we don't know why the government bring them Cuban people, them come here, so.
Hey, say it without saying it, baby. You ain't tell no lies. And I don't feel no way. There's a clear distinction between all the Cuban doctors, them operate and them customer service, them compassion. There's a clear distinction. Everybody knows it. The patients know it. The patients in Jamaica will tell you based off of them experience. So you're not have to pretty it up, baby. You know you're pretty, but you're not have to pretty it up. Alright, you've been very diplomatic in your utterances in this video while telling the truth. Big up yourself. Let's continue.
You don't hear the contraries. It is hurtful to see that that will be no more. No, there is another side to that coin. There are repercussions and sanctions for any nurse or doctor who decides to not return to Cuba. That will be no more. No, there is another side to that coin. There are repercussions and sanctions for any nurse or doctor who decides to not return to Cuba.
You mean like with them having a contract, the fine print? You mean like that? Yeah, man. You mean like in every contract where you have the fine print. If you do this, you breach your contract. You mean like that? Oh, okay. Let's continue.
And also there are restrictions from the Jamaican government for those nurses and doctors.
Oh, I'm gonna put the flame emojis in that chat. Oh, so you're telling me that not only Cuba sanctioned the Cuban doctor them, but the Jamaicans government sanctioned them too? Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. What a revelation. What a revelation. Mighty God. I want to shout out this man who send me this, you know. Big up on yourself if you not watch me right now. Whole heap of respect. Big up on yourself. No, Jamaica, no. Make you play that again. Make you play that again.
There are repercussions and sanctions for any nurse or doctor who decides to not return to Cuba. And also there are restrictions from the Jamaican government for those nurses and doctors. They are welcome to work here once they are working in that contract. But if they are outside of the contract, it is a very different picture.
So you're telling me it's sanctions for their actions? You're telling me that the Jamaican government have sanctions for the Cubans them? If them go outside of the contract with Cuba? In Jamaica? No. So how then can the Jamaicans tell us that these people, we don't know the intricacies and the details of the contract, as if they were not aware that the issues that United States raised, they knew about them. It was never an issue. Them are going like saying deaf, dumb and blind to the contract, Jamaica. I don't understand that. How can you go into contract with a country and not know the details of the contract and how the details of the contract is going to affect the people in this case that are contracted to you? Did Jamaica not care? If indeed it is true that what they are saying that this is slavery, did Jamaica not care about the people of Cuba? Was the government just so heartless and only wanted to get good nurses and doctors to assist our people? Are you telling me that the government of Jamaica, and I'm speaking about all the governments obviously from PNP to JLP, obviously, you're telling me that they did not know? You're telling me that they knew and they were so demonstrous and so mean and so evil? That is what America would want us to believe, you know. That the situation is like that, you know. That's what they would want us to believe. And I am challenging that right now. I don't know about you guys, but I am challenging that. That don't make no sense to me. In no way, shape, or form. Especially based off what this lady is saying. And others have been saying. Right? Because the Cubans have come out. The Cubans have come out and they have been vocal. If you're in the right spaces, you will see how vocal they are. Right? And to add insult to injury, ladies and gentlemen, this tweet is what sparked this live stream. This tweet right here. This tweet. And he tagged George Davis and Big Mama. George Davis and Big Mama in it. He wanted them to see it. Read the payment of the Cuban government. Jamaica had a contract with government of Cuba. The government, we pay the government of Cuba who pays the Cuban doctors. This is the same arrangement that we have with the people building Cornwall Regional Hospital and our roads. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Game over in Jamaica. Game over. That is it. Nothing to see here. Absolutely nothing to see here, Jamaica. Again, this man, this is the official tweet. When you go check him out, him look like him a doctor. Him even look like him a Cuban. Well, he's a Canadian. Because him have the Canadian flag and the Jamaican flag. Mr. Steve. I choose not to be a slave to ideology. I am a free thinker, applying critical thinking and making independent decisions. See it here? It is no different. Someone who NNN has a contract with for an outside broadcast. You send a reporter, the payment goes to NNN and the reporter, and mighty God. Listen, Jamaica, look at that. The man even take it further into the common sense of it all. It is no different than someone who nationwide has a contract with. So Cuba have a contract with them doctors and nurses. Right? An outside entity, an outside broadcast to NNN, you send the reporter to the outside broadcast. Right? You, the company, get paid and then you pay the reporter. So why is Jamaica not stand well, you know, I don't need to ask the question why. But I'm going, this is a rhetorical question. Why is the Jamaican government acting as if they don't understand this simple logic? Right? And pretty much bowing to, why I say Selvanev, pretty much bowing to the Americans in this issue with the Cubans. All Jamaica government have to say is, listen, you guys have an issue with Cuba. We have a long-standing relationship with Cuba. In regards to the argument that there's some type of enslavement, we will take that to court. We will go to international court about that. Because on our perspective, it's no different from a contractor sending his workers to the island to work, and we pay the contractor and the contractor pay the worker. Jamaica argument done. This can't stand up in a court, you know. Argument finito. Finish. How you doing, Glenn? You done? What we are talking about? What are we talking about? This man is on point, and listen to what him say. I choose not to be a slave of ideology. This is his profile, you know. I am a free thinker, applying critical thinking and making independent decisions. Zane? Gleaner is about 4 years too late. The pivot should have come a long time ago to match the shift in technology and social media. Okay. Just looking at some other tweets. Right? So, big up Steve, Blue Blood. And he look like he used to go to Manic school. Could it be that he's a Jamaican living in Canada? Well, most of the doctors them go over there go work anyway. Canada and the United States. Yes? But Jamaica, I mean, I think I've exhausted this conversation. You understand? I am now waiting on the thing to start with. I'm now waiting on the thing to start with Favour Williams. Get your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be epic. Please get your popcorn. It is going to be epic. I'm telling you.
Penalize you, you know. But you give me a thought. You give me a thought. I did that. I did find the fight will cost me out.
Yes. I want to also remind all members that 3 times for the year, every person. Yes. I want to also remind all members that 3 times for the year, allocations are made to every single constituency in this house to assist in the mitigation that takes for the hurricane season. Thank you very much, member.
So, all right, the other question relates to page 19055, activity 10205, rehabilitation with a
Will be spent on money
and it's shared financial.
before the end of this year.
Lastly, in relation to this matter, in respect of the
And we want to, like, we work like this.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Minister of Works, I want to start with you. The question I'm going to ask in relation to the Port Antonio bypass. So it would be found at 1900 C10. 19,000 C12 actually, because it speaks of Port Antonio bypass, and it says 90% complete. The construction is 10% complete, and then land acquisition is 5% complete. The first question I'm going to ask is, there is a displacement of 313 housing structures, which averages about 6 persons in each. So not the best at math, but that's about 1,800 persons that will be affected or displaced. Now, the question I'm going to ask, following a consultation with the National Works Agency, which, if you are familiar with movies, the National Work Agency is acting as the Silver Surfer, almost like a destroyer of lives. And they're moving forward in completing the bypass. Just work with me. In relation to acquisition, which is a part of what you're doing, you're sitting beside the Minister of responsible for land and houses and the allocations thereof. Was there any contemplation in the budget for a consideration of a replacement value rather than market value?
But that is how the law states, that you contemplate you contemplate both values. And in many cases, the government, based on the humanity.
7. The tax expenditure statement 2026. The Jamaica Mortgage Bank estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2027. The Government of Jamaica medium-term debt management strategy for the financial year 2026-2027 to the financial year 2029-2030. The public sector consolidated estimates of expenditure 2026.
All right, people, we have to go over to Bolo VNR 2.0 here.
Estimates 2026-2027.
We have to go over to Bolo VNR 2.0, the other live stream. I'm going to end this one here.
Financial year 2026.
So, we're going to forward over. Bless up on yourself and thanks for being here. TikTok, same to you. All right, come over to Bolo VNR 2.0, Zin. All right, blessings.